Hey, all my beautiful subscribers. Sorry, let me get comfortable. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and, I guess, do the tutorial. It's just whatever I'm feeling. I'm probably sponsoring somebody else's YouTube and not really sponsoring, but advertising somebody else's YouTube, and I'm sorry. I don't know if that's allowed or not, but I'm going to do it anyway. They, the Reptarium, it was or is a reptile museum per se. They're located in Michigan. Brian Barczyk was the founder, and he was, I guess you could say, still is, an idol. He was one of the reasons why my best friend and I got into reptiles and started an animal rescue and got into, possibly breeding snakes, which we did that one time and it was a fail. We're not going to go into that though, but unfortunately Brian passed away a little over a year ago, almost 2 years I think. He developed cancer and he went really quick. But anyway, he will be greatly missed. So let's get back into today's tutorial with the letter B. If you watched the previous video, we are going to make this bag. The bag does consist of a granny square, and you got to do 10 rows. So I'm going to also do a tutorial for the granny square, I guess. So it's going to be like a 2-in-1 almost. So I think also I picked up at Five Below the other day because somebody told me like they couldn't really hear me through, the phone or whatever. So I got a microphone. I don't know how well this is going to work. I guess we'll find out. This is going to be a little tester. So if I can just get it clipped. You know what? I'm about to just clip it right here. There we go. It works. Not really. I'm not going to do that. Ow. Pulled out a couple of hairs. Okay, so we're going to maybe clip it right there. It's not working. The clip's not clipping. Okay. We're about to get this. Okay, so I don't know if I can use it now because my phone's charging. Let's see what the percentage is. Oh yeah, we're good. Okay, so let me unplug the charger. I was charging it so it wouldn't die during the video. Okay, so okay, it says it's on. So I don't know if this is. I've never used it, so this is going to be a test review. If it works, it works. It has a little green light on it. So I guess. Okay, so let's get started. Yeah, I'm scooting up. Okay. Now, I gotta get everything situated, so I'll be back in just 1 second. So, oh, I guess I can show you the. I'll do that in a minute. Hold on. Okay, we're back. So, move this out of the way for just a second. It's gonna be the bag. This is what it looks like, laid flat, and then, this says blast out. Okay, so like I said, it starts with a grading square, and you're going to do a total of 10 rows, and then you have to do a decrease. Okay. Now, I do. Um, I typically do a few more rows because I want to see the color for the base as well. So I think I do, and it's been a minute since I did this. Okay, so we're doing six rows, and then do a decrease of 4. There we go. I knew I was going to get it. Okay, like I said, I hadn't made one in a while, so let's just go ahead and fold that up, put that to the side. Okay, look how gorgeous this yarn is. This is from Premier Yarns, Sweet Roll Vivid, 174 yards, 160 meters, 3.5 ounces, and 100 grams. All right, so it is a medium 4 weight. Recommended size hook for crocheting is a 5.5. My favorite. Get my clovers. Okay, look how pretty that is. That is just so stinking pretty. I would say other words, but I can't. I love to, but I can't. And just looking at it, it looks like an eye. Like here's the pupil, retina, the white of the eye, which is yellow. Even it kind of has like an eyelid. That's kind of cool. I just noticed that. Wonder if it was like that on the other one. I'm not going to show the other one because the other one currently has a project on it, and I don't know why I'm making the project because I know I'm not going to have enough yarn to finish the project. But whatever. Okay, so we're not starting with this color. Don't know why I even did that, but whatever. We're okay. All right, we're going to start with this purple, and this is Loops and Threads Soft Classic Acrylic 252 yards, 5 ounces, 231 meters, 141 grams, and the color Neon Violet. Okay, and yes, I did get this like poster board. That way you can kind of see a little bit better. Plus, I wanted to get one to where I can take pictures and not have like a background of yarn. But anyway, so we're going to start out with a magic circle. Sorry, is it magic ring? Yeah, magic circle. Okay, so apparently I have forgotten how to. Okay, so I've been trying to learn how to knit, and apparently my mind is on knitting. I'm not very good at it. Just wanted to try and pick it up, and it's going. Like I said, I'm not very good at it yet. It's a challenge. Okay, so with a granny square, and there's one person in particular that has trouble with granny squares, which is not me. It is a friend of mine. I don't know what he does, but it's just, yeah. Okay, so in the magic circle, what you're going to do, maybe I should, I'm doing a tutorial and not even tutorialing. Okay, so let's try that again. Okay, make your magic circle. Okay, so you're going to chain up 3, and this chain of 3 is going to count as your first double crochet. Let's zoom in just just to be it. Okay, so with that being said, with it being your first double crochet, you are going to put just two more double crochets. Okay, in your traditional granny square, there's not really a right way or a wrong way to make a granny square as far as like corners and yada yada yada. However, the most typical granny square, when you make corners, you're going to chain either 1, 2, or 3. I don't chain 1. I don't chain 3. I chain 2 because, in my opinion, I think it makes a crisper corner. But in this project alone, we are only going to chain 1 for our corners. Okay, so now we chain 1. We're going to do another total of, another cluster of 3. Then after that cluster of 3, we're going to chain 1. Make another cluster of 3. Alright. One more. Alright. Chain 1 and 1 more cluster of 3. So we're going to have 4 clusters all together. Correct? Correct. Okay. So after you have done that, this is okay. You can go ahead and close up your circle. Okay. Now, traditionally, what you do is you're going to chain 1 and then slip stitch into that first chain and then walk your stitch over to the next corner, right? Well, in another tutorial that I had found, it eliminates the stitch walking. Okay, and what we're going to do, instead of slip stitching, and we're not going to chain 1 either. Okay, now if we were doing a chain of 2 or a chain of 3, then yes, you do chain at least 1. But since we're only chaining 1, we're not going to chain anything. So this one, what we're going to do a half double crochet into the top of that chain, and a half double crochet. Let me demonstrate that one more time. Half double crochet is like doing a double crochet, but you're not going to finish it, so it's half. Anyway, so you're going to yarn over, go into your chain, pull through, okay, and then you're going to pull through all 3. So now you're sitting right in that corner, right? Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to chain 3, okay, and what we're going to do here is we are only going to do half of this corner. And the reason why we're going to do half of the corner is because we're going to start in the corner and end in the corner. And then when you join the two clusters right here, you're going to be in the center of that corner every single time. Okay, so we're going to go around. We're going to go into the next corner, and every corner is going to be like this. It's going to be 3 double crochets, chain 1. Any other time I would chain 2, but not for this project because we're making a bag and you don't want big holes in the bottom of your bag. So we're going to just chain 1 and then do 3 more double crochets. Okay, and then going to the next corner, do the same thing. 3 double crochets, chain 1, and get some more yarn. Okay. We already chained 1, so we're going to do 3 more double crochets. Okay. Next corner, 3 double crochets. Chain 1, 3 double crochets. Alright, so now we are about to get into the next space. Okay, so this is where we started, right? So we're going to finish in there too. So you're going to do 3 double crochets. Okay. Alright, so this is a new way of doing it. I prefer it this way. Okay, so now you've basically completed the corner, right? It's just you need to do the chain area. And again, like what we're going to do on the previous row, is instead of slip stitching and then walking over to the next space, what we're going to do is we're going just to do the half double crochet. And you're going to put it into the top of that chain 3. Yarn over, pull through, and I can't, there we go. And then pull through all 3. So now you have a square with 4 corners. Okay, again, so we're going to chain 3, put 2 double crochets into that spot. Okay, because we're going to start in a corner and finish in a corner. Okay, so now we just keep going all the way around. I'm just going to show you one more time. And if you haven't gotten it by now, just rewind the video and watch it again. I mean, this is what I've had to do the entire time I've been crocheting. You know, I watch videos. If I don't understand something, just go back and watch it again. I mean, that's all you can do. I mean, not everybody can pick up on crocheting. It's a little bit harder for some people. And I mean, I get it. I do. But, you know, I was never perfect at it. I'm still not perfect at it. I mean, there's stuff out there I don't even know how to make, and I don't want to know how to make it. You know, amigurumi is one of them. And I'll say that until I die. I will not do amigurumi. I made an octopus one time, and his name was Henry, and he looked very angry. I mean, he was cute. You know, I had little eyes and made a little mouth, and you know, I had never done this before, so you know, I mean, the eyes weren't that bad. I mean, because I, you know, had the little plastic ones, but his mouth, I didn't know how to make the mouth, so I just kind of winged it, and when I did, it looked like he was angry. So, you know, whatever. I did not really enjoy making Henry. Just not my cup of tea. Now, I can make a chicken, and I don't have any problem making that. all you're doing is just using 2 graining squares and, go from there. Okay, so back at the corner. Alrighty. We're back at the corner and doing 3 double crochets. We're not chaining. Do not chain for this corner. I'm going to say it one more time. Do not chain in the corner. I'm going to bring this closer to you. You have started in the corner, and now you're finishing in the corner. Okay? Now you're going to do a half double crochet, and you're going to the top of that chain 3. Oops. Maybe. Okay. You're going to yarn over, pull through, and pull through all 3. And you are right where you need to start. See what I mean? You're in the middle of that corner. You don't have to slip stitch and get into the next space. Like, this saves time. Okay? So we have done 1, 2, 3 rows. I will meet you back when we have done 6. So you go ahead and do 3 more rows, and I will meet you back here. Okie dokie. So we are at the end of the 6th row. We're going to go ahead and go into that last corner space and finish it up. Again, we are going to not slip stitch. And I hope you guys haven't been doing that the entire time. I mean, if you have, that it's fine, but this is an easier way. Okay, so go ahead and join that with the half double crochet. Okay, so now we have a nice conformed square. Okay, so now, and you can make this, sorry, I'm kicking all kinds of stuff. Now you can make this, you can make this bigger. I just dropped my microphone. Sorry about that. So I dropped my microphone, and that little sucker went way underneath my desk. I have a box sitting under my desk, and it jumped over the box. How? I have no clue. Okay, so that being said, you can make this bigger if you want. You can make the base bigger, and it'll be, a bigger bag. So how you would do that is you want to have an even number. So this is 6 rows. So if you want to make it, say 12 rows, bigger, I mean, that's double. So you do 8 increases altogether. So right now we're going to do increases. I'm just doing, just a smaller, I'm not doing a small version, but we're doing this size. So let's get back into it. So we've configured, Jesus. Okay, so we have finished our 6 rows. I'm gonna straighten these corners out just a little bit. See, I don't like chaining 1 because it like the corners are not crisp. Chaining 2 is they're very, very crisp corners. You can't cut yourself, but you want to imagine, them being very sharp. So, anywho, now we're going to, like I said, we're going to start on the decreases, and we're going to do this for 4 rows. So it'll be a total of 10 rows altogether. So 6 rows for the base, and then the decreases, not decreases. Yes, it is a decrease. We're only going to do it for 4 rows. And let me not get ahead of everybody. Okay, so you're going to chain up 3 like you would starting a new corner, right? You're going to do 2 more double crochets into that corner. Now, as we did with the previous rows. However, okay, sorry. Technical difficulty, not really. Roommate came in when we wanted to show me his new phone. Anyway, so I'm just going to kind of start back over because I don't know where I left off. I don't know what I was saying. So we're in that corner where we just did the half double crochet. We're going to chain 3, do 2 more double crochets. Okay. So with this is going to be our start. Like it's been for the previous 6 rows. Okay, so we're going to be now working on forming the actual bag. And with this cluster, this is the only cluster that you're going to make in this corner. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and do clusters all the way around. Till we get to that corner. And what I meant to say was till we get to the next corner. Okay, so this was our first one right here. See, there's only one cluster in the corner. And we're going to do one cluster in this corner. Because like I said, we're going to be making the, so you can already tell this is curled up some. That's exactly what you want. Okay, so we did one cluster in this corner. You're going to work a cluster in every single one of these spaces, including the corner, and we're just doing one cluster. Just one cluster in the corners. Okay? So I guess we're gonna meet back when we have done 4 rows in total. See how it's already starting to curl? Okay, because you have a cluster here, one cluster in the corner, another cluster, and it's already starting to kind of form that little lip. See? Awesome. So you're just going to keep on working the clusters all the way around. If you want, we will meet back at the end of this row, and I'll show you how to join one more time, okay? So we're going to finish this row and meet back right here, right in this space before that first corner cluster. So I'll be right back. Okay, so we're back. We are in the space before we get to that little lonely corner cluster. Okay, so again, what we're going to do is we're going to yarn over, go into the top of that chain 3, pull through and pull through all 3, and you have completed that row. Okay, so no, we are not in a corner anymore, and this is just after the first row. After the first row is already starting to form. So that is exactly what you want. So from here on out, all you're going to do is you're going to do 3 more rows of this, okay? And all you're doing is just going in, let me zoom in. All you're going to be doing is working clusters into every single space all the way around for 3 rows. And like I said, it's already starting to form the bag. That's exactly what you want. Okay, so I will meet you back when we've completed the rest of the rows, and then we're going to go ahead and into the changing of the color. One thing I do want to mention before we finish is as you're going around, it's going to kind of reverse itself to where you're going to be working, the right side out is going to kind of like push itself out. So this is technically the back of your work, but as you're going around, it's going to, kind of pop itself back like that, and that's what you want, because the bottom is going to be the right side out. So as you're going around, it's automatically going to reverse itself. So, and that's what you want. So this is the right side. Okay, this is the back side. Alrighty, so we're going to keep going around for 3 more rounds, and again, I will meet you back. Okay, so we are at the end of the row. I mean, the 4 rows. Okay, so again, we're going to join it by getting into the top of that chain 3 and just close it. I am going to slip stitch into that stitch and just chain 1, because I'm going to tie off, chain 1 so I can tie off the color, because we're going to switch colors. Now, you don't have to switch colors. It's just, to me, I mean, my personal preference. I just think it looks better with a color for the base and then a color for the main part of it. Now there was one. Oh, I thought I did. Okay, here's another one I did. I never put beads on the straps, but here's one that I did. I used this pink right here as the base. And this pink was already in the variegated yarn. That's just how it turned out. And it was one little tiny section of pink. Why, I don't know. Like, it didn't go all the way around. It kind of irritated me. But it's okay. That's probably why I never, actually technically finished it. So, we got it tied off. Give it a little snug. Okay, now we're going to make the body. So, we're going to bring our beautiful, beautiful yarn. I swear it looks like fire. Love it. Okay. Make a slip knot. And we're going to go into that space that we ended at, right? Okay. So you're going to bring it from the back side. Okay. Tying it on your hook. Bring it through. Okay. Then you're going to chain 3. And then You're going to also crochet over your tails. That way you don't have to weave it in at the end, but you're just going to continue your clusters all the way around like we have for the previous rows. Okay? And I love this color already. And the thing is, like when you buy yarn, especially acrylic yarn, I've noticed that depending on the quality, and I'm not downing any brands, but you can tell a difference when something is good quality versus mediocre. If it's $3.99 a skein, you're going to kind of get what you pay for. The loops and threads is $3.99. However, it has a very soft texture. One brand that I do not really care for is Super Saver. Well, it kind of depends. It kind of depends on what you get, because I have a yellow sitting on my shelf, and it is so scratchy. It's horrible. But some of the other colors that I have that are Super Saver are just as soft as the loops and threads. So I don't get it. So we're just gonna continue our rows of clusters all the way around, and then we're going to continue this for a total of 16 rows. We're just going to hang out for a little bit. So like I said, in my previous video, I opened up a Shopify. I don't have a whole lot of stuff on there right now. All I have is bucket hats and then just like one style of top. Like I said, I will do custom orders, and now as far as like I was saying before, if you message me and be like, hey, I want to order this top, but I want it in, I don't know, let's just say green and pink. I'm going to give myself creative freedom. So, and with, I don't really want to say this, but with being the orientation that I am, I'm not going to make you look like a hot mess. I am going to make sure that it is done tastefully. It's kind of funny that I say green and pink, because I just happen to look up and I do have a yarn that I would use for a top. I'm going to go ahead and show you. This is green and pink. It's a very light pink, and that's what I would probably use. But it's gonna look good. Okay, so again, like I said, we're just going to go around and around and around. Okay, and this is all the bag will consist of. And this is one of the easiest bags you can make. Now at the end, instead of doing drawstrings, which, I mean, you're probably going to want drawstrings anyway, but if you want to do a regular strap to do for like a crossbody, you can make your own, no problem. But there are options at, I know not Michael's, but Hobby Lobby has straps that you can buy. I do have one handy. I'll get that in just a second while we finish this row up. And I'll show you really quick. I might have to do a part 2 of this video only because it's going to take me a while to do the 16 rows. But you're going to do the 16 rows. I do have one that's already partially made, and maybe I can just kind of go off of that and, finish it up for you guys. I'm kind of pressed for time today. I've got a busy day, and if I end the video, I can't combine 2 of them, which is, I've got to figure out how to edit. I mean, it's going to have to do it. So, after every row, you're going to just join with that half double crochet into the top of that chain 3, and then start your next row. Okay, so like I said, go ahead and continue this for a total of 16 rows. Now, like I said before, you can make this bag bigger. And honestly, I'd love to maybe make it out of like crap. Crap. Wow. Scrap. Strap. Strap. Scrap. 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 Scrap yarn. Like cotton yarn, really. Because you could actually make this, like I said, you can make this as big as you want, and you can make it like a little nice basket out of it. There's also another tutorial out there to make a basket, and you're going in a spiral. I've done projects like that before. Not very keen on those because it's like you don't remember where you started, so you don't know where you're going to end. I mean, yes, there are, stitch markers out there, but, sometimes when you're doing projects, those little things like to slip out. So, we're going to finish the 16 rows, and I want to say maybe do a part 2 of this tutorial. Who knows? We'll see. So, just stay tuned, and hopefully I'll be back during this video. If not, I'll let you know. Alright, so I've only done 14. I still have a couple more rows to do. But like I said earlier, I'm a little pressed for time. But one thing I do want to sit here and admire is look at that fiber tunnel. Isn't she pretty? Okay, so, oops, oh well, I don't care. So, continue your 16 rows. Okay, this is only 14. I'm not completely finished. You can stop at 14 if you want to. It doesn't really matter. This is your bag. This is how you want it. But you're going to lay it flat like this, right? Okay, so next we're going to do the straps. So now the straps, all you're going to do is make a slip knot and then you're going to chain 200. I'm actually going to make a different strap for this bag. I'm actually going to do it in this pretty blue. I think it would contrast really well with um, with this. It just reminds me of a fire. I don't know what it is, but anyway, so once you get your 200 chains, and this is the easiest thing that I can suggest you to do, and but what you're going to do is you're going to get your darning needle out, right? Here's one. And you can get them at Michael's, Hobby Lobby. Michael's is actually the cheapest that I've seen for the darning needles. And you might have to wet the tip just a bit. So thread this, and this is going to be your strap. Okay, and what we're going to do, we're going to start on this side, right? Okay, and this will be your the first hole. When you lay it flat, this is going to be your first hole. So you're going to go all the way around, weave in and out throughout the entire project. And be sure not to get into the actual stitches, because that is going to mess up your drawstring. Continue all the way around. Now you can always do a bigger strap too. Really wouldn't go more than 250, maybe to 300. I haven't tied off because I'm not completely finished. I'm just showing you how to do straps right now. Okay, so that's where we started, and then we're ending in the space right after that. Okay, so now what you're going to do is you're going to take and you're going to make two of these. Okay, you're going to make two straps of 200. Okay, so when you lay it flat, this will be the very first hole that you see. Okay, and again, okay, over here is where we began, right? Okay, now you're going to go to the opposite side and do the exact same thing. And once you get them both installed, you're going to pull both sides, and then it's going to crinkle up. I mean, you can just do it with one side, have one strap, whatever you want to do, but it's better with both. And then you can, I'm going to get a completely finished one. Okay, so from where, like I said, this is completely finished. And what I did is I tied both of these together, both straps. You know, there's a total of two, wove it in on one side, then flipped it over, wove it in on the other side. Okay, so then, and this is optional, you can get your darning needle and take both straps through some beads. You got to find the beads that are big enough or have big enough holes to do this, and then at the bottom of it just tie it off. Okay, so that concludes the tutorial for the drawstring bag. If you have any questions, reach out to me. You can do my email, knotsofcreation@gmail.com. You can comment on here. You can go on Facebook to Knots of Creation and reach me that way. You can even do TikTok. Okay, Really quick, like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Please share, help me get out there a little bit. I just realized I didn't have my microphone on, but it's okay. So, like I said, I'm sorry I wasn't able to finish my bag in time. I've got to go pick my husband up from work. But anyway, like I said, it's your preference on how big you want the bag. If you want, you know what, let me do this. Okay, that way I'm actually talking to you guys. So, like I said, you can make the base of the bag as big as you want. Like I said, try and go in even numbers. So, mine, this is what I would do. If you want to go a little bit bigger, do 8 rows instead of 6, and then your increases, I would do 6 rows. So, or like I said, if you don't want to change color like I did, you can just keep it all one color. But see, look how pretty that is. I love this bag. This is one of the easiest bags you can make. So, and it actually keeps its shape pretty well. Again, I had to hurry up with this video. I need to start doing my videos or my vlogs like right when I get up. But like, who wants to do all that, you know? But anyway, I'll you know, eventually get it down. So this was the tutorial for the drawstring bag, plus a little tutorial for a granny square. So I love the color combination. I hate how it didn't go all the way around, but it's okay. You know, it's still very pretty colors. I don't have much left. I might have enough, just enough to finish the entire bag, but I've only got 2 rows to do, plus I've got the straps to make. So I love you guys, and I will see you next time. Next time we'll do the letter C. This was a letter B for bag, so I don't know what the letter C is going to be. So we'll figure that out, I guess. But in the meantime, happy crocheting. Bye.